Thanks Acorn TV for sponsoring this video. Google Calendar is a really powerful tool that helps you manage your time better, schedule events, tasks, time block your to-dos, and share meeting details with your team. However, Google Calendar has been around for ages now, and although a lot of people still use the basic features just fine, there are a bunch of new extras, extensions, and new tricks to use Google Calendar that will help you manage your agenda even better. So in today's video, we'll be discussing 11 different ways to improve the way you're using Google Calendar and make your calendar blocking that much efficient. So first, let's talk about Gcal Plus. Gcal Plus is a Chrome extension that introduces a bunch of different features that, although subtle, can really make an impact on how you use Calendar. For instance, you can start and end the calendar during specific hours so that you hide a bunch of blank slots, like for instance when you're sleeping. You can also expand overlapping week events, tweak the dots and colors in monthly and yearly views, hide event illustrations, and so forth. Also, you can now use goals on a Google Calendar, and I think this is only available for your iPhone or Android app. Besides events and tasks, you can also set goals now, so this feature lets you set clearly defined goals, like, working out 3 times per week or something of the sort. Then Google Calendar automatically schedules those goals on your calendar based on when you have open slots in your calendar, but then you can also decide whether it should be happening in the morning, afternoon, or evening. Each event in your calendar has a notes section, but it really doesn't provide enough features to really take advantage of. So a good way around this is pasting a link to a Notion page. For instance, if you're scheduling a meeting in your Google Calendar, you can create a Notion page for those meeting notes, share it, and copy the link to your notes section in the event in the calendar. When the time for the meeting comes, you can open the template to start writing, and it's also a good way to document notes because they save those links in your calendar, and then you can revisit those notes anytime you want. When opening Google Calendar on your desktop, you are able to access the Tasks widget. Besides adding a bunch of tasks for this list that after completion you can cross out on your calendar, and trust me, crossing those out is so much more satisfying than seeing events fly by. You can actually create categorized task lists so that you're able to clean a bit of the mess in your to-do list and know exactly how many tasks you need to complete for each major group. Button for Google Calendar is a Chrome extension that gives you a quick overview of your calendar, introducing a button on your toolbar that shows you upcoming events without having to leave the tab you have open. It also sends push notifications and provides quick access to conference links. You can also create new events with this interface as well, although the widget will require you to open a new tab in your browser. If you enjoy calendar blocking and time batching and love to use Google Calendar for it, but sometimes have a difficult time knowing whether you should set an abstract task like study for history or a lot of specific tasks like study chapter 4, study chapter 5, and so on, you can actually make both methods work. And you can do this by creating a large event around the time block that you want and then create small tasks that you overlap into that event. That way you are able to block your calendar during study time as well as setting specific tasks to complete during that block. Color coding should have a specific goal instead of being used for the aesthetic. So personally, I like to use color in my calendar to see at a glance whether my work-life balance is good or not. Basically, I set work-related tasks and events in the shade of one color, varying depending on the category of the work task I'm setting, and then I do the same thing in a different color for my personal life. More than making my life more productive, this lets me see whether I'm setting enough time for myself or if I'm being swallowed by my work. This is a really fun one. You can actually set your Google Calendar to send you a daily agenda via email, much like a personal assistant. If you sometimes have trouble remembering all of the events and your upcoming tasks, this email is a good reminder in the morning or late evening to kickstart your motivation and prepare you for what is coming. Although I'm a fan of tasks in Google Calendar, I really hate the fact that I can't change their color to match to my pre-existing color scheme. So the way around this is using emojis to create categories. You can insert these emojis just before the name of the task, and that way you're able to see before even reading the title whether that task is related to a call, a writing job, something related to YouTube, the house, and so forth. If you use a mix between Apple devices and Google products, there is an easy way to sync your iCal and Google Calendar besides the usual import calendar option, and that is creating an iFTTT applet that adds an iOS event to Google Calendar as you create it. Of course, you need iFTTT to enable this option, but it's really easy to use and it has worked for me so far. Google Calendar actually has a bunch of handy shortcuts you can use in desktop mode to navigate your calendar in a more efficient way. This one is pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just insert the list of shortcuts on the screen. And now there's a reason to schedule every single Monday a new personal time block in your Google Calendar, and that is Acorn TV's new weekly release. You're probably tired of watching virtually every single show available on most platforms by now, after more than a year of full or partial lockdown. So Acorn TV has a lot of shows you probably never watched, like Widgets Pearl, a classic detective series perfect to watch if you like to cozy up with a good mystery novel, and which is streaming right now. What I love the most about Acorn TV though is their period drama catalog. There's so much to choose from the miniaturists to All Creatures Great and Small or The Plague. Everything on Acorn TV is commercial free, so no weird surprises there, and it costs way less than more streaming platforms, at $5.99 per month. Acorn TV also works with all platforms and devices, so there's always something new to discover every time you feel like watching something new. And if you want to try it out and see for yourself on what you're missing out, don't forget to use the link down below to get a 30-day free trial, because they're going to release a bunch of stuff really soon, so it's time to add all of those new shows to your calendar. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!